Peace, waiting for more people to get back in here. They just cut my audio while I was going live. They cut my audio. Yeah, they messing with the live, y'all. Peace, peace. Yeah, they messing with my live, man. For those that was in the live just previously, they cut it on me. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I was just live recently, and they just cut my joint. So I'm trying to get the people back in here. We was cooking, and they cut me. TikTok completely cut my whole ability to go live. You know what I'm saying? TikTok cut my whole ability to go live. So they don't want certain truths being told. They shadow banning me and everything. As I was expressing to certain people, to the people before I was cut previously in my other live, that while you're on your path to ascension, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to think you crazy, all right? Especially family members and things of that nature, while you're moving forward into, because you're getting more in tune with nature. So they may see you grounded. They may see you talking to trees. They may see you sun gazing. People may see you doing these things and may think you very peculiar because of it, all right? But it's important that while you're on your path to ascension, that you don't worry about what people think, that you fully stay rooted in what your objective is. That's what the primary focal point is. This is why they coined terms like conspiracy theorists and things of that nature. They cut my live. I'm peace to everybody showing back up. I was live a minute ago and they cut me. All right, so they trying to suppress what's being said. They even cut my rights completely, y'all, on TikTok. I was live. They just sent me a joint and said you never can go live again. Now, I got 2 TikTok pages that I can go live on. I haven't went live on my second one, but on my first joint with 73,000, pardon me. They just cut my rights to go live. You know what I'm saying? But Facebook cut my audio just now when I was going live. So they don't like certain information getting out, but I appreciate y'all rocking with me and staying here. But as I was saying, during your ascension process, during your journey, people going to think you crazy. And it's important that you don't give a damn what nobody think about you. All right? Because during the spiritual war, the biggest thing that people want you to look like is the crazy person, when they really crazy for following everything that they told. Following the government, believing everything that they told, and being sheep, right? Being cattle led to the slaughter, basically. They the ones that's really pretty much crazy as hell, right? So we not crazy. We the ones that's actually aware of what the hell going on. All right, we got this the first eye open and aware to what's actually going on the landscape, right? So focus on your ascension process. That's the main primary objective. All right, and focusing on obviously the law frequency as well, realizing that this whole thing is an illusion, not getting too caught up in assimilation, not getting too focused on what the bills you got to pay or this, that, and the third, because these things are just pretty much tools in the matrix that they throw at you to stifle you, to keep you in a low frequency. All right. This, again, is all an illusion. And the more you step out and break the fourth wall via transcendental states of consciousness and things such as astral projection and lucid dreaming, once you start to break the fourth wall, then you become more aware that this whole thing is just a construct that we in. All right. That they design to pretty much keep you, to usurp your energy for their particular purpose. All right. And this is what the deletes do. Their objective is to pretty much they want to work you to death. And they want to keep you pretty much isolated and focused on this construct and not realize that you are actually the god or goddess that you've been looking for. All right. Most of the reasons that people, we fail so far is the concept of religion. Looking outside yourself to find who God is when you actually have a direct connection to prime source, right? God or goddess, you watching this, you understand that you are the god or goddess that you actually need. Your higher, you have all the tools to the matrix and all the tools to the cosmos already. It's just about remembering everything, becoming acquainted with your primordial mind and remembering that you do have this information already. That's all it really is about. You just really, when you watch these videos and you gaining information, you watching people like Dr. York or Bobby Hemmett or Layla Africa or whoever you in tune with, all right? You really pretty much just reminding yourself. You already know this information, right? You already had this information. You lived multiple lives before this incarnation. This is not your first life, all right? You had many life cycles before this, and when you dream, all you're doing at that point is quantum leaping. You're quantum traveling to other alternate realms and timelines where you exist in those realities as well, right? Because we are infinite. We are infinite beings, and we're chrononauts and time travelers. We go past, present, and future. We travel through all of these realms simultaneously. We just kindred spirits passing through. This is how you have to identify this matrix in order to successfully reach your primordial, the highest primordial aspect. You have to know that it's an illusion and an assimilation that you're in. You have to know that. And once you know that, then you can actually be a tuning fork to the cosmos and then control your reality and control your paradigm a lot better. Once you know that, right? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And it's about not giving a damn when nobody think about you. If you want to go out and put your feet in the soil, go out and put your feet in the soil. If you want to sun gaze. If you want to talk to that tree, talk to the tree. I told you that the trees communicate through the root systems. In the Great War, people may think I'm nuts, but the trees will be fighting with us as well. They in a sleep spell currently. They trying to mess with my life again, too, family. They messing with my life again. So if I get cut, it's because they messing with the live. So, but yeah, when the planet fully wake up, the trees will be joining the fight. I've seen this in transcendental states of awareness. When they show you in things like Guardians of the Galaxy and they show Groot and things of that nature walking, the trees. This is why they show it. You may see it in certain videos on TikTok and stuff like that, where trees and things of that nature moving. And as I expressed, there's a lot of archons and different malevolent entities that their objective is to basically keep you hindered and locked in this fixed position reality. All right. If you don't resonate with what you're hearing in this content or what I'm saying, keep it moving. I recommend you do that. Keep it pushing. This is for the ones that spiritually awaken, and their objective is ascension and then tapping into higher realms of reality. This is a lot of individuals pretty much been so indoctrinated that they'll never get the truth, and they're going to have to live these cycles many times over. They're going to have to live multiple life cycles, and they're going to have to come back to this planet and keep doing it over and over again. My objective is to ascend to the point where I just came here to assist y'all in this process of grand awakening. That's what I believe wholeheartedly that my purpose was to come through in this gateway at this particular time in resonance to make sure that the collective is thoroughly aware, so we can pass on to the fifth dimension, and we can we could traverse to higher dimensional realms of existence. That's pretty much what a lot of us has been sent here for. All right, is to wake up the collective. And some of you guys haven't started yet, haven't got on your mission because you're too worried about what this person think or what that person think, when truthfully you have tons of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding waiting to be shared with the collective. All right, a lot of people are scared to speak their truth and won't do it. But again, we in a spiritual war, and this is why this information is so scarce. It's because we've been led to believe that, again, they coin certain terms like conspiracy theorists or crazy, or people who speak out like this and talk about the government being their objective wholeheartedly is depopulation. When you talk about things like that, their objective isn't to, when they talk about reducing the carbon, they talking about you. That's a fact. When they talk about reducing the carbon, they talking about you. Remember, and it's important that you know that. It's important that you know that. You're a carbonated being, all right? And this is the carbon they want to reduce, but at the same time, they need our magnetism to keep this paradigm in order, to keep this reality and to keep this matrix going. They need your neuromelanin. They do. That's a fact, because we're electromagnetic. Some people are just electric. We're electromagnetic, all right? So what we do, our thoughts actually anchor and control this paradigm, this whole paradigm and this whole reality. If that wasn't the case, they would have obliterated us or tried to just eliminate us off the map a long time ago. But our essence is what keep this matrix and this whole paradigm in existence. That's a fact. And it's important that you know that. It's important that you know that. And this is, and as we move, and this is why things like supercell and stuff like that coming out. They starting to put this stuff out now. It's because the ascension process is here. This is why the sun is hot as hell. When you go outside and that sun is way hotter. It's multiple suns out there is what people don't want you, like, I seen a video where the lens showed the camera and it showed about 4 or 5 suns out there. Multiple suns. Multiple celestial bodies are out there currently. Okay. This is another reason why there's certain simulation systems that they're putting in place to try to hinder those ionized particles from reaching us, to fully activate us. We are the supercells. This is what Henrietta Lacks and Simeon Toko, these is what these kindred spirits represented. The personification of us having the ability of actually reaching higher potential through our genetics. And this is a fact. This is a full-fledged fact. And this is why those different supercell and things of that nature is out. Is to show you. And this is why it was primarily focused on those that are indigenous. All right, because we have a certain connection to the rhythm of the planet and the Schumann resonance of the planet. This is facts. All right, cosmically. And this is why going outside and grounding, putting your feet in that soil is so important, because as the planet increase, and frequency, you connect to what that human resonance, and it imbues your electromagnetic frequency with that celestial energy. All right. And this is why they blanket in the sky with so many chemtrails. They're trying to mess with the live again, family. I'm gonna keep talking until they cut until they cut it, right? You feel me? But this is why they try to affect that process, and this is also why they're now utilizing parasitic organisms to process food. This is why it's important to eat food with life in it, light photons, right? Get as many. What you eat and what you consume, you want to have light photons in it, okay? And it's important that you do that. It's important that you do that because what we consume is going to be essential to our cellular activation, all right? And again, it's parasitic organisms that are placed in processed food that are a lot more sentient than other parasites from years and years of past. I'm talking about they're genetically creating certain parasitic organisms. So when you consume these things, they can attach. I'm talking about sentient parasites. They know where to hide in your body and stuff. If you try to use cleanses, they know how to camouflage themselves. They know how to hide along your digestive tract. Remember, you got 3 brains. So this is why I promote the parasite cleanse, using the parasite cleanse to cleanse all parasitic organisms that are usurping your nutrients. All right. And again, when we talk about the chakras, you have 114 actual chakras, but you have 7 main chakras that facilitate your energy, all right? What these parasitic organisms typically do is they rest in your solar plexus chakra region where your soul enters through the navel, all right? Again, you got 3 brains, so a lot of your neurons are in the gut. When these parasitic organisms get there, they have the ability of harnessing a lot of that chakra energy that you typically would be receiving. So this is why cleansing the parasites are so essential. Going through using things like sweet wormwood, cloves, and black walnut. This is what I talk about. Those 3 not only kill the parasite, but they also eradicate the larva, the eggs, okay, if you may, all right? Then it's also important, as I mentioned, to detox the toxic metals out of your body. Listen, people, you could think I'm tripping. It's a cosmic activation is real, all right? When they show us these characters, like in Avengers and X-Men and all that, and you see these people outside moving aluminum and stuff, this is predicated on the electromagnetic frequency that's in your mind. This is what they was doing in the Montauk Project. They was using magnets. They was using electromagnets, and it was enhancing what they called the all-seeing eye. They had the ability of peering through the future, peering through gateways via electromagnetic crystals and different technology. All right, we are way more advanced than y'all think we are. All right. But through the years, they've been dumbing us down with all the food, all the different fluoride. Fluoride is one of the primary things that they use to degrade us. All right. And if you're still brushing your teeth with fluoride, you're a damn fool. All right. You need to go on it. You need to use different things. This charcoal activated. You can use any other thing, but you shouldn't be using mint pulling. You should be using coconut oil. You shouldn't be using, and you should also be throwing out deodorant. All right. That has parabens in it, that has different aluminum and stuff like that. You need to be getting rid of that deodorant and stuff because your skin, again, is your biggest organ on your body, and it absorbs all those metals. This is a fact, all right? So these are the things that they have been throwing at us over the years because they knew this time was going to come in regards to us receiving light code activation like that show Supercell and stuff. They knew this was going to come. If you look at the hood, you look at the urban versus the suburban, why do you think the hood is the way it look? Why do you think it's churches on every corner? Why do you think it's a liquor store at every block? This is set up purposely. So when you look at it from an aerodynamic view, it's basically disgusting if you look at the hood. And it's purposely done that way to keep our frequency down because they don't want our frequency too high. This is why it's important for us to be able to be alchemists. We have to alchemize that energy and transmute that energy for us to use it for our betterment in order to seek higher levels of consciousness. We have to utilize that energy and learn how to be alchemists, all right, just like our ancestors was. And alchemy is an ancient chemist. Alchemy was the science that they use in order they use what they call the philosopher's stone. And they could do stuff like turn lead into gold, okay? And this is what I mean when I say alchemize, I mean turning something bad into something good. For those that don't know what alchemy is, it's called transmutation. It's when you transmute something bad into something good because we are gods and goddesses. Remember, when we came down in this construct, we set the game on hard. We set it on hard. We knew we was cocky. We was like, man, I could do it. We forgot how it was to be in these bodies and have emotions and anxiety and depression and different chemicals like cortisol, serotonin, oxytocin. We forgot about it. We forgot stepping how, because literally when we step in these bodies, it's a game we playing, right? And we came down here to cleanse karma and to actually strengthen our primordial mind. We really already know everything. We really already traversed the cosmos and mastered the universe. We just coming out here just to play this game called life. But the thing is, we forgot. We forgot who we are, and we are now remembering who we are. And that's this cosmic energy hitting us. The first thing that's going to start happening is ancient memories are going to start coming into play. Your dreams may be crazy. You may have dreams of floods. That's because you probably was in Atlantis. You may see mud floods. Okay, you was probably into Tartaria. You know what I mean? You're going to see it's probably all kind. Some of us that have bad dreams of being murdered and stuff, probably, or different crazy things, are seeing a past life or something that we may have had. Because as we ascend, we are quantum traveling. We're going through different realities. I've been seeing shadow beings out the corner of my eyes. This is a sign of the dimensions being close together, right? So sometimes you can see an overlay of other entities traveling through their world, merging through their world, right? This is where the shadow apparitions coming out the corner. Because right in this, you may not believe it, but right along this reality, it's another dimension right over it. I might, for all I know, I could be in a room where it's a train station at the same time in my room. You feel me? We have multiple dimensions, overlapping dimensions. So every once in a while, you're at a different angle of light and you can see a shadow apparition sometimes, right? Because we are emerging in consciousness. This is why it's important to step out in the light. All right. This is why it's important. Again, H3O2, fruits and vegetables, what you're watching, what you're consuming. OK, the music we listening to is very, very, very detrimental because we are frequency. People sleep on the fact that they frequency. Right. Peace, King. I see you. People sleep on the fact that we peace, God. People sleep on the fact that we frequency. All right. And that we are and the music we listen to has an effect on how we and our output in our subconscious mind. Because we have a superconscious, we have a conscious, a subconscious, a superconscious, and what we listen to has a full effect. This is why I listen to meditation music and stuff like that. I'm listening to high frequency lyricists, and I'm listening to music that puts me in a resonance to make me feel good. That old school like R&B. For those that are 80 babies, know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That old school music where you listen to it, you feel good. Like you know what I mean? They don't make music really. It's probably a few artists out there that got it, but most of the music now is designed to lower your frequency. All right, and we born with rhythm. We born with rhythm on the rhythmic pattern of the planet. This is why we have rhythm. This is why when you hear music, the first thing you do is what? You nod your head to it, right? You agree or in agreement with what you. So a lot of us are nodding our head to shit we don't even really are in resonance with. We just nodding our head to it, and we letting it tune our subconscious mind with the 808s and the 440 hertz frequency. Which they used in Nazi Germany for mind control. Same thing they using on us. And then they get these artists, they put promethazine and lean in them and shit. They get them in their offices, they corrupt their mind. They get them the mumble rap shit we don't even really understand. They get them on a 440 hertz frequency. And then they subconsciously start imbuing that in our kids, our mind. Like, when they did that, they cloned Tyrone and they showed them with that music and eating the chicken, and that shit real. And they had the subterranean bases. Go watch They Clone Tyrone again. If you ain't see it, go watch They Clone Tyrone. That shit real. The cloning facilities, everything they showed in that movie is facts. And they clone Tyrone. Down to the subterranean bases. Down to them being able to walk in like a little corner store or some joint that just looks shut down and take an elevator way down. That shit facts. And they got reptilian cloning facilities underground, all right? More than just Antarctica. I'm talking about networks that connect the different branch units to different underground networks and stuff. The Hopis called them the snake people. It was a whole reptilian city that was under California. Whole reptilian city where it was underground, right? So, I mean, and they traveled through different underground facilities. And this is where a lot of the kids and stuff be taken. We never find them because they in subterranean bases, and they did the statistics. Millions of kids come up missing a year, and for those that's tapped in, know they using them for adrenochrome. Different these reptilians, they really run the government. And for those that don't know, and I can't say too much. I got to be very careful, but these people that Trump is already in. All right, I'm just gonna say it like that. All right, he's already in. America just hasn't been made aware of it. He's already the president currently. All right. And that's, I'll say allegedly, just for the sake. All right. But allegedly, We'll say allegedly Trump is already in office, and everything you've been seeing in regards to elections and all of that, it's just a big pony show. You feel me? So it's just all about really focusing on what's going on, because it's a lot behind closed doors. This is going on, and this is why they outcasting America, aka Babylon the Great, right? This is why they outcasting America. You remember the different scripts in the Bible where they refer to America as a harlot, all right? And they say, get out of her. You feel me? And they was just talking about as far as these kings and stuff that was trading with her, because they was a monarchy, and that monarchy is the representation of the 1%, because a monarchy means one person in rule, one king, but we know that one is really that 1%, that global elite that actually control everything, all right? And the Hopis talked about all this. They talked about all of this. When they talked about the celestial portals and those gateways open up, we actually are right now in the midst of the Hopi prophecy going into the 5th dimension. That's where we at. Because the Hopis spoke of they called it the 5th world, though. They didn't refer to it as a dimension at that time. They referred to it as going into the 5th world. You feel me? Trump president? Yeah, he's president. But ultimately, yeah, that's a fact. I mean, some allegedly say, I say allegedly, right? For Facebook, right? And for the sake of this live, that Biden actually was unalived in 2019. Allegedly. We'll say allegedly. And we'll say allegedly that that's artificial intelligence, all right, that we see, that gets taken out for a little bit, a minute, that gets provided a script to say a few things and then gets taken back away and put away when they need them again. We'll say allegedly that that's artificial intelligence. And if you do a face comparison, you can see the bone structure difference, the color of the eye difference. I'm not tripping, all right? Wake up and see what's real. And again, we'll say allegedly. We'll use that word, all right? We'll say allegedly that the real Biden is buried in Arlington. All right, we'll say allegedly, right? Y'all feel me? It's real. Pay attention. Pay attention. It's a pony show that they doing. America is really Tom Marie. Everything this country is built on is predicated on stolen history. They built history on top of history. When they get unfolded, you're gonna see all kinds of tombs and pyramids and all kind of stuff gonna be coming out the surface, because this is actually Egypt that we on. I mean, and that's the bit controversial to some, but America is Egypt, contrary to what y'all believe. Contrary to what y'all believe, every last animal that they showed in Egypt, as far as Tahuti, the bird, Anubis, all of those animals exist right here. All of those animals and everything from the Egyptian, it's more pyramids here, actually, in America than it is over in Al-Kibalan. We know Africa was stolen, and we know that Scipio Africanus, we know that they came over there and they took Al-Kibalan and they changed it to Africa. Africa is not even the real name, okay? That's a slave name, okay? It was Al-Kibalan, just as like this is Tom Marie. They changed the linguistics, they changed the names and the actual language of everything. All right, because the actual names and languages have power. Peace, love, and light. God was good with you. Yeah, and if we talk about Atlantis, we the Atlanteans. If we want to go there, we the Atlanteans. We've been here for listen. Once you start tapping into your transcendental states of awareness, you're going to realize that you had many incarnations prior to this reality, that you've been here many lives. You're going to realize that. And then once you start to realize that, then it's going to be easy to connect the pieces. This is why they burnt the Library of Alexandria. It's a lot of our history. They talk about different planets and stuff we were from, the different cosmos and different places we ventured and traveled. Sirius A, Sirius B, all of this stuff was in the Library of Alexandria, Timbuktu. These libraries, they burnt down to the ground. Why they burn them down? What they didn't want them to see? Why they shoot the Pharaoh's nose off? Why they do that? It's a lot of information that they was trying to hide from us. That's now coming to the surface. And a lot of the prisons, a lot of the different things that we use and stuff is buried right on top of ancient history. Watch what I tell you. And what's going to happen with a lot of these natural disasters and cataclysms, it's going to unravel that history, a lot of that ancient history. It may be a big crack that come in a crevice where you start see so much, because this earth and planet is layered like an onion, contrary to what you believe. It's not no us or crust, upper mantle, and core like they said in earth science. We know it's the center of the earth. We know it's a Gartha. We know it's a Shambhala, where different beings and stuff exist. dragons and pixies and fairies and all of these mythological creatures that they claim is false actually exist in Argatha. We know it's different extraterrestrial beings and different entities that exist in the trenches. Earth is hollowed out, okay? It's hollowed out. That's a fact. You don't got to believe me, but it's a fact, okay? And a lot of these beings, there's been a lot more sightings of dragons, okay? Dragons starting to surface. Seeing these dragons is a sign of the magic starting to return back to Tiamat. This is what this Tiamat, again, this planet is named after a dragon. All right. People aren't aware of that. All right. The reptilians are ancient beings. OK, the Tiamathians they predate the Draconians. OK, these were higher advanced reptilians. They didn't have the carnivorous nature. OK, the Draconians are pretty much they've been here too for many years. This is one of the reasons they feel they own the planet. OK, because the Draconians been here for mad long too. Right. But they've been living in the inner earth. All right. It's Taros, like the conehead entities. They live in there. All right. It's Flugerods, entities that have like, trunks, nose like an elephant, okay? Pale skin, pretty much like a Caucasian, but they have the long nose of a trunk of an elephant. They regurgitate their food and stuff like that. They malnelevant, okay? They malnelevant as hell, all right? And if they come to, and these are it's a lot of other malnelevant entities besides the Draconians that actually exist underneath this earth that we got to deal with. Other grays that aren't biologically controlled, that fully had their essence, that Philip Schneider talked about when he was down there, all right? For those that don't know Phil Schneider, he was a gemologist, all right? And Phil Schneider basically, he had a piece of his hand burnt off by these extraterrestrials. He explained that it was like a gray entity, all right? And he explained that it was whole wars going down underneath the ground. And this being apparently shot some type of beam out of his chest. I don't know if it was a weapon or if it had energy blast. I don't know what it did, but it burnt Phil Schneider's hand off. Phil Schneider didn't give a damn. He still spoke his truth. He was a whistleblower, right? He kept speaking his truth until eventually he was unalive. But he spoke heavily on what they was doing underground in those bases in the coal mines. And this was in coal mines. This not even super deep. I mean, again, the planet is like a layer onion. So it's levels to different entities that exist under there. All right. And then they was doing head shaping in Alkebalan. All right, so some of the beings, they did head shaping because they seen the turtles and durals come to the surface. And these beings are super intelligent, the turtles and durals. I'm talking about ancient intelligence, cosmic intelligence. These are some of the beings that was associated with Yakub, okay? They actually do exist in the center and central earth and different caverns and stuff like that. And some people ask, well, why they don't come up and help us? We too low frequency. We've been too indoctrinated. Some of these beings even come near us, they start throwing up and getting sick. That's a fact. The problem with the people on this matrix is that we so indoctrinated by the wars and different things in regards to color. We believe that these beings, they not looking at us by our color like, oh, they're the same color as me. No, they looking at us by the frequency that we in. That's a fact. So this is why certain extraterrestrial beings haven't came and saved us yet. Because we vibrating too low for them to even come near us. A lot of the people that be, well, why Anunnaki, they be scared as hell. They see some of these beings that's standing up 9 foot tall in front of them, standing up how tall these beings are. How big and the essence these beings give off. Y'all say y'all want to see them until y'all actually in their presence. Then when y'all in their presence, y'all scared. Right? And it's a show on Tubi. This fire, actually, I talked about this show where they was where they show it was on Tubi, and these beings was basically communicating, and these beings was these black extraterrestrials, and they would get together. I forgot the name of the joint. I gotta remember it. It may come. It's at the tip of my tongue, but it was about black extraterrestrials. These they studied Dr. York, and anyways, these guys would get up. And they would go to the field, a big field. They would bring their crystals out there, and they would basically do their chants to the UFOs and stuff. But some of those same guys out there, when they actually seen the UFOs come, they were scared. They talked all of this stuff about extraterrestrials, knowing they exist. But as soon as these beings actually make they traverse, then they decide to come down, then y'all to say they all want to see them, get scared. This is why some of y'all also are scared of astral projection and are saying y'all interested in it. But once y'all start feeling y'all body vibrate, y'all stay in it. Y'all get scared. Y'all buck out of it and don't want to do it. In order to really ascend and tap into higher dimensional realms of consciousness, you must fight that fear. And this is, rather you meet, I have met different extraterrestrial entities. You don't gotta believe me. I have communicated with these entities in transcendental states of awareness. I have seen how tall these beings are standing over you. They massive, okay? They're not, it's not like a normal person. They look humanoid, but their faces are slightly different, where you can tell they're not from these parts of town. You feel me? But they still have a nose, they still have 2 eyes, they still have the cheekbone structure, but it's so different that you know that they Anunnaki. You feel me? It's hard to explain, but they features are more larger than our features, right? We are smaller versions of how they look, but they look slightly different. Like when I seen an Anunnaki woman, for example, in my lucid dream, I knew right off the gate. And the way they was looking at me, they was like, they knew, they came down, they was looking right at me like, okay. And then they guided me to some type of telescope that a guy had. And I went over there and I seen, and it was a big ass telescope that they was using. And from there, taller than 7 to 6 foot tall. Yeah. Some of them 8, 9 foot tall, these beings. Okay. Tall. Some of them tall and very muscular. And they all kept trying to kill Simeon Toko, right? And they cut his body up in different containers. And when they cut Simeon Toko's body up in different containers, Simeon Toko regenerated again. Simeon Toko, right? He stopped the plane in mid-flight. They had a plane. The cabal was questioning Simeon Toko on a plane. He stopped that shit mid-flight. Like what? And they was like, oh, we dealing with something completely different. We dealing with something completely different. That means Simeon Toko has some kind of telekinetic ability where he was strong enough to stop the plane, like 11 from Stranger Things or something. He was able to mentally just stop that plane from moving right there, dead in the air. And they kept trying to kill Simeon Toko. They said, Simeon Toko said, many will be returned just like me. Hear me out again. I'm going to say it again. Simeon Toko told them, many will return just like me. Okay, this is what's happening, but it's all predicated on us raising our frequency in order to do that. All right, we are really, the higher you get in frequency, and this just to people vibrating low, they may not understand this when I say this. We are angelic. We are pretty much light trapped in this. We are condensed light trapped in this body. That's all we are. And the more you sun gaze, the more you step out in nature, the more you ground and put your feet in with the soil, the more you cleanse yourself. And it's hard. I ain't gonna act like it's easy, okay? It's not easy for me either, okay? But it's a spiritual journey that we on. In order to do these things, we have to learn the art of detachment. And this is detaching from certain things that our flesh may crave, right? And this is not to say, and again, it's not to say that you got to get perfect overnight, all right? But it's all about making better steps to step more into your spiritual body as opposed to the meat suit. So, and then this is how you know you're ascending. Once you're doing things to gratify the spirit as opposed to the flesh. Because the flesh wants what it wants when it wants it, right? And this is why they make it harder for us. It ain't just our flesh. If it was just our flesh, it'd be easier. But we got parasites on us trying to get that stuff. We got different metals that they putting on us. We got different chemtrails they spraying over us. We got different frequencies they playing. And I'm talking about, listen, it's so complex. As I expressed, there's different lead, cadmium, and mercury. What they do is they feed us all these metals, right, y'all? They feed us all these metals, toxic metals, right? Once they get the toxic metals in your body, the toxic metals start aligning in your spinal column. Little metal deposits that collect along your spinal column, right? Then when they emit certain electromagnetic frequencies, you become basically like a remote control, right? Where now they can input certain thoughts in your head, your thoughts in your mind. You ever see those videos where you could put a speaker or something on a plant and hear the music it play? Well, what if I told you we have the same thing with us? You could put a certain frequency on us, and we emitted a certain frequency just like those plants when they put their things on mushrooms or they put it on flowers and they play a music. We do too. But they know that, so they have to put different metals and stuff in us that tune our frequency. Do that make sense to you or not? Do that make sense? Are you resonating with that? They tune our frequency with electromagnetic, with EMF waves and ELF frequencies, okay? This is why things like shungite and orgone, crystals is important. Shungite, or this is lapis lazuli, or a chakra pendant, but you get my point, all right? And it's not just so much of having the crystals, but it's cleaning them. They're using your different sage and different Palo Santo. And people wonder why sage is something to clean. To explain it scientifically, sage get rid of 99.9% of airborne pathogens in the air. Okay, so to explain that scientifically, if you were to look at different microscopic parasites, look at it like that. Okay, view it from that perspective, because parasitic organisms are also demons as well. That's why if you look at their face through a microscope, they got sharp ass teeth, their face look aggressive, and these parasitic organisms are in a macro as well as the microcosm. All right, so you like think about it like this: if a big ass monster came in your room with sharp teeth and eyes, you'd be like, wow. Those same monsters exist, but just way smaller in your body. It's the same thing. We need to get them the hell out of there. This is why I speak on using the parasite cleanse. Cleansing the parasites and the metals out of us is how we're going to receive the light codes. And this is why do you think Bill Gates owns so much farmland? Because he knew the age of awakening was going to come and we were going to be gravitating towards light food, right? So this is why he owned 272,000, probably more now, okay? He owned 272,000 probably 2 years ago. Probably now with the money they got and the resources they got, he probably owned 300,000 acres of farmland. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Gates owned about 300,000 acres of farmland, all right? This is why all of the herbs and stuff, this is why it's so difficult to get fruit with seeds in it, right? Why do you think it's so hard to find grapes with grape seeds in it? Or watermelon with real seeds and stuff like that? I even found out that they even getting the seeds out the apples now. They some bad mofos to be able to do that. To be able to get the seeds out of an apple, you got to be a bad motherfucker to be able to do that. Lemons and all of that. So these are things that Bill Gates are genetically modifying and changing in order to ensure we don't reap the benefits of cosmic ascension. Okay? This is why eating is so important. This is why parasite cleanses is so important. This is why getting the metals out of your body is so important, because once you have these things, then you can start the lucid dream and stuff like that. Listen, ascertaining transcendental states of consciousness is the primary way to ascension. If you're not seeing in your dreams, if you're going to sleep at night and you're waking up with no dreams, you missing out on a lot of activity in the cosmos, okay? This is why I tell you things like ginkgo biloba, lion's mane mushroom. They're continuously, your brain cells are continuously being eradicated due to chemtrails. And this is a solid fact, because the water we consume, fluoride. And again, even if you're brushing your teeth with fluoridated products, it's a situation where fluoride is just even in the water when you shower, all right? So this is why I stress the importance of taking proper herbs. I take my lion's mane and stuff every day. I'm not telling you to do something I'm not doing myself, all right? I'm taking lion's mane every day, black seed oil, ashwagandha, and I'm using these things black seed oil, as I expressed, has a chemical called thymoquinone. It attacks cancer. They're giving you cancer, trying to give you cancer daily, okay? Thymoquinone is rich, black seed oil is rich in TQ, which is the abbreviation for thymoquinone, and this is something that you need. You can use on your skin, you can use on your hair. It keeps you youthful, because the objective is staying youthful and surviving the sun, because the sun is going to be so intense as the ascension process go. It's going to get extremely hot on the planet, even if you have a lot of melanin. Melanin is what make you darker, okay? So even if you rich and you melanin and you chocolate dark, right? If you got lead, cadmium, and mercury in your body, you're going to still be hot as a motherfucker out there. And you ain't going to be able to take the sun, because, like I said, it's a bunch of spoons, forks, and knives in the microwave and turning it on. That's what it's like. So this is why I stress the importance of detoxing, utilizing cilantro and chlorophyll, things like that. And chlorella and cilantro. Pardon me, it was at the tip of my tongue. Chlorella and cilantro for chelation therapy. All right. And when you go through a chelation therapy is going to successfully extract the toxic metal out of the blood, which then in turn will allow you to receive light code activation. The longer you're in the sun, every 8 minutes and 30 seconds, you receive cosmic uploads. I don't call them downloads no more, because the information already in us, we just uploading the information, right? So we receive cosmic uploads the longer we in the sun. All right. That information it comes from our primordial mind. All right. So this is why some people, when they go in the sun, they're like, man, I got to get out of the sun. It's because the sun's kicking our ass, and it's because of the metals they put in. It's because of what they feeding us. And what I want everybody to do is not be so hard on yourself during your ascension process. Don't beat yourself up. Realize that you've been attacked. You've been attacked with parasites that make you crave food you shouldn't eat. You've been attacked with different parasitic organisms that make you have intrusive thoughts. You've been attacked with different parasitic organisms and metallics in your body that make you less motivated to get out of bed to go to the gym. This is all factual. But mind over matter and transmutation comes into learning that and then saying, okay, what can I do to change that? That's what it's all about. That's where being an alchemist is about. It's about knowing what attacks are happening and then saying, okay, what can I do to make the necessary changes? Because this is ways they attack us, but most aren't aware of it, so they don't know how to combat it. Once you know how to combat it, you're like, oh, that's why I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming because I have fluoride, the calcium deposits on my pineal gland, and my brain cells needs to regenerate. So this is why I stress ginkgo biloba. Some people may have to take it longer. You may have more. Some people have more calcium deposits on their pineal gland than others. Others may have been eating more fruit consistently, so they've been consistently alkaline on their body, right? Some people are late on a spiritual journey and been eating a lot of processed food their whole life and may have more work to do in their body, all right? So never gauge your spiritual ascension process on what other people are doing, all right? And don't stress yourself out over it either. It's important to realize that now that you know what to do to keep your frequency high and to just gravitate into those modes of patterns of doing those things, all right? And just to detach yourself from things you know you shouldn't do. Even if you, and also on the flip side of it, we also came down here to have an experience. So also, at the same time, don't take life so serious at the same time. So it's like trying to juggle both of those, maintain that balance is how you go to ascension. Because you don't want to overthink things and become a hypochondriac either, where you like crazy over everything, all right? But you also don't want to be naive and fall on and just consume these things that the deletes put out there, to basically make us fall from our ascension process, to make us fall from our light, our path of light. And pretty much that's it. It's just about fully focusing on exactly knowing what the deletes attacks are, what their plans are, what their objectives are, and how to combat them. Once we figure that out, then once you figure it out, it's still gonna be a consistent match, because you're gonna have good days and bad days. You're gonna have days where you fully motivated, and you're gonna have days where the archons are attacking you, and then also knowing that you can't blame everything on the archons attacking you. Also knowing that your mindset is another thing, because you are an electromagnetic tuning fork to the cosmos. So if you sit there just thinking, oh, I'm being attacked, what's going to happen is you're going to manifest more attacks to you. All right? So it's important to kind of just be centered and meditate as much. Make sure you always focusing on what you're thinking. I remember, I'm going to share this experience I had. I had a transcendental state of awareness where I encountered one of my spirit guides. Name was Mama Spirit, okay? And I shared this in a video where Mama Spirit basically told me I'm very powerful and that it's important for me to focus on what I think. She said, you have to be very careful what you think. But she talked to you like she a grandma. She'd be like, you got to be very careful what you think about, baby. She talked to you like that. This is like that matriarchal energy, that loving, compassionate energy. You feel me? So that's how she was talking to me. You got to be careful of your thoughts, baby. You're very powerful. And I'm just listening to her like, yeah, you feel me? What we think is what we manifest into our reality. So if you're thinking, I'm fucked up, bills is due, and this, that, you're going to notice, you're going to gravitate more people that want to call you and complain about their problems, because you're manifesting that now. So now that you're attracting that energy in you. Now people coming to you complaining all the time, or you're getting a bunch of bills, or you're getting a bunch, because now you're manifesting that into your circumference. Separate your thoughts like dry clothes and put on your favorite outfit. That's a fact. I like that. You separate your thoughts like dry clothes and put on your favorite outfit. That's a fact. That's a fact. And when you're speaking on clothes, you just gave me a mean download. Ooh, as far as the sigils and what we put on our body, because we 70% water. So what we put on our clothes is very important. They put a lot of shit on our clothes that have an effect and imprint and encryption on our body, because we 70% water, and water has memory, right? So when we wear certain things, certain sigils may have certain encryptions that may mean something bad or may mean something good. So this is why it's also important to think about and wear what we wearing, and also think about how everything is science. And this whole realm is predicated on magic. Y'all may not think magic real, but magic is real. Magic is real. And a lot of the entertainers, a lot of the people on top utilize dark magic. I told y'all some of the I believe that football and some of the Super Bowl, I may not think, some of the people that love it may not think it's magic, and they use certain like the Chiefs versus this place or this, they it's all predicated on certain demographics and certain states and everything that they use. Even with the performers that they use and the rituals, how they do the songs, and everything's magic and science and symbolism. Everything is. This is why it gets to a point where you have to utilize your esoteric mind in order to see through all of the everything, to see through everything. And this is even me, facts, because I love rap, I love rhyming, and I come from battle rap, right? So I had to understand the importance of the words I use. I was so disrespectful in the ring. I was destroying my opponents with mad disrespectful angles and trying to figure out the best way to eradicate my opponent, right? Via words, right? And it's still fun. I still love battle rap. So let me not, because we have to have balance. I still love my battle rap. Now let me get it twisted. But I had to change what I did in regards to what I put down on the paper and what I use and what I listen to. I had to change and alter the things I listen to when I'm in the gym, when I'm training. Now, again, you can also alchemize certain music. That, you know, let's say it's a song like The Lox, for example. I love D-Block, all right? Hypothetically speaking, I'll use them for example. Let's say you love listening to a certain song. You ain't going to do a drive-by to it. You going to use it for the gym. That's alchemizing it. That's transmuting the energy from what them saying something crazy to you using it in the gym to probably push out an extra set, to actually push up from under that 300 pounds you're trying to bench or something like that. You feel me? Or squat that weight you're trying to squat. You feel me? So this is where you just learning how to balance and how to have your own mind come into play. Not wanting to run out and do the shit you listen to in the music. You feel me? But then also getting to the point where you stray away from certain music because you know that the frequency is predicated on affecting your subconscious mind. Right? Y'all heard about the meeting the record industry had, the record labels had, that when their objective was to basically create more, get more black men in jail, get more people put in jail. Y'all heard about that, right? Their objective was basically to get people to make more music, to get you want to go to do some wild shit, to get you want to go get a pack. Oh man, so-and-so just said he made X amount of dollars in a day. Man, I'm about to go get me a pack. This is all predicated on your influence and what we listen to and how they tailor our children. And this is why this music is heavily perpetuated in our areas and in our hoods, right? And while we see basketball players and all of that, we don't see people who's aspiring. I didn't grow up like seeing like Dr. York and stuff like that. I didn't find out who he was until I was young, like later on. You feel me? I didn't grow up seeing different influences that was prominent in the black community. It was always church collection plates, and you know what I mean. I grew up in the church just like all y'all. I had to get knowledge of self later on. You feel me? The first time I got knowledge of self, my cousin came home 5%er. I remember he told me, "You God." And then I start building with him. I start building with him on the 5% teachings, right? Learning that we are gods and goddesses, contrary to what you think, right? And once I started learning that, and then I learned that the J, because they said Jesus was there 2,000 years ago, but then they created the J 600 years ago. It was made by Giantrasinio in 1524. Then I found out that, wait, hold on, the J didn't exist. Hold on, John, Paul, Jacob, all of them, all of those J's, they didn't really exist. Then I start thinking like, damn, so what did they do with the letters? I start questioning everything. I start going on a rabbit hole. This is when you start forming detachment, because then you realize, okay, I'm attached to these things emotionally because, again, I told you we have worship genes in us. We have a worship gene that's called VMAC2. And this was done when the Anunnaki came down and grafted human. They put a worship gene in us. The Bible, when you read the Bible, the concept of the Bible and the God in the Bible is predicated on Enlil. Okay, Enlil was a malevolent extraterrestrial that wanted dominion and wanted control. All right, and this is also Marduk. All right, so some of the Yahweh in the Bible, when you read the Bible, some of it's Marduk. When you hear Yahweh, some of it's Enlil. Okay, Akhenaten, Pharaoh Akhenaten is the one who created a monotheistic religion. And this was enforced by Marduk, who later changed his name to Amun-Ra, because when you conclude your prayer, he wants you to say Amen, who is actually Amun-Ra, right? So this is all predicated on religion and technology. Everything that you follow in this is pretty much stemming and deriving from extraterrestrials who wanted dominion and control, and then basically put it in it. Now, again, the Bible all come from like the Enuma Elish, the tablets of creation. The Bible is, I'm not going to use the word plagiarize. I don't mean no disrespect for those that actually still follow it, but I got to keep it 100. The Bible's plagiarized from other books that predated thousands and thousands and thousands of years, right? And then the Council of Nicaea took the Bible and they took out 14 books, 14 of them. And they made a separate book called the Apocrypha, with the book of Enoch. A lot of other books are in this book called the Apocrypha, and they took that book and separated, all right? So it's a lot of information that's inside the Bible that's been tampered with by the Council of Nicaea. They changed a lot of stuff, right? You feel me? So it's a situation where, and this isn't to offend nobody. It's just about opening people's eyes. Like, okay, wow, that's an interesting perception. Nobody, if you're getting offended, that means that nobody should get offended by this information. We're in an age of awakening. It's about chat like, oh, that's interesting. Let me go down the rabbit hole and research that. Then go down the rabbit hole, do your knowledge. Don't take what I'm saying as face value, right? Never take nothing nobody say for face value. Always do your own homework. Go down the rabbit hole, research it. You can look into it if you want, but research the Council of Nicaea. And there's several other councils that I don't know off the tip of my tongue. Several other councils that actually had something to do with actually changing and altering the Bible as well. And again, the Bible does have some facts in it too. Okay, so I'm not shitting on it. It's still some Jews in it, but it's been tampered with. All right, it's been heavily diluted. All right. Do I believe it was somebody like a Christ-like figure that possibly walked the earth? I'm not sure. There's no historical evidence. It could have been. Simeon Toko existed. We know Henrietta Lacks existed. We know that these new neuromelanated beings came down with special abilities. Why couldn't there have been some type of guy that they commemorated that was doing works of magic and power? Could have been, right? I'm not saying that it didn't exist, but I'm saying that this entity that did exist, if he did, told you not to commemorate him, right? So why are y'all saying he's God when right out of his mouth he told you don't commemorate him? Right out of his mouth he told you ye are gods. He told you that we are gods, right? If this Yahshua existed. Now, some people also conclude that Yahshua could have been Isis, right? That when you remove the J, it spells Isis, which translated to ISIS. I hear some stories. I hear some of that as well. And that when a patriarch came into play, they wanted men to have so much control that they took the woman completely out the program and switched it for a man. I also heard that theory. All right. So the Age of Awakening is about several different schools of thought coming into play. And then you kind of just factoring out what makes the most sense and resonance with your soul. That's pretty much what the Age of Awakening is predicated on. You feel me? Exactly. I see that with ISIS, right? And that's what it pretty much is with ISIS, you know? And again, you have to remember that contrary to what you heard, we did not come from no Adam and Eve. Adam was not. That whole story of us coming from a man's rib is a bullshit. All right? It's bullshit. It's false. The progenitor of life on this planet is the black woman. All right. You can look at the mitochondrial Eve gene. You can study that. All right. Black woman is the first one that brought all of us into existence. All right. And the patriarchy basically took and degraded the woman. Now, let me clear this up also. The matriarch is this whole thing was ran by a matriarch at one point. All right. It was a matriarchy. All right. And that was basically a queen. And the matriarchy is the personification of divine feminine, which is the personification of love. It's not gender. So I want to clear this up. It's not a gender thing. It's about divine feminine, meaning divine love. Divine love. All right. And this is why they say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Mars, we know Mars was the warm planet. And Venus was the personification of love. And this is just like a metaphorical for the matriarchal being a personification of love, that big mama energy. We talk about that grandma. But when you think of the cosmic Ethereum mother or the matriarch, picture that grandma. And you know it's one of those grandmas in every race, no matter if you're white, black, Asian, she gonna make sure you eat. Come here, baby. She gonna feed you. She gonna make sure you eat. She gonna make sure everybody taken care of. You feel me? And that's the concept of the divine matriarch, the divine feminine, the grand matriarch. You feel me? The patriarch is the personification of ruling with the iron fist, ruling with dominion and power. All right. And that's what this country and that's what this whole realm is predicated on. It's predicated on the patriarch. And what's going to happen is as we raise closer to ascension, we're going into the matriarch. Now, when they did this is one of my gripes with the Bible. All right. With the Bible, when they say woman came from Adam, that's just that's a story that took place from the Anunnaki when they created and grafted the first Adamu. Thereafter, when they made the Eve, they did use a fragment of the Adamu's rib. But the women, obviously, men came from women, though. You feel me? But they just took that one part of the story, Because again, the book of Genesis start from the Anunnaki pantheon once they start the eugenics program. That's when Genesis is starting, right? Genesis is starting, and again, it's the genealogy of Isis. Isis is the one that held the first Adamu. Isis gave birth to Adam. For those that don't know, I'll translate that. Isis, okay? She was the Anunnaki woman, okay? She was a scientist, and she had other sister scientists and stuff that worked with her. When they was doing these experiments with the Anunnaki, the first few times they tried to make the Adamu, they were unsuccessful, okay? They did their genetic blends and stuff like that, and they were unsuccessful. And then Isis realized, she said, oh, okay, I have to bear the child. There's even, you can even see it in the museum. I forgot the museum in particular, but it's Isis holding up what they deem as Adam, saying, my hands have made it, okay? And it's Isis, right? And this is where the book of Isis, Genesis is the genealogy of Isis, meaning that the first Adamu came from the lineage of Isis, which is obviously the Anunnaki. And this is where our lineage derive. It says, great old grandmother, we are going to restore balance of divine feminine and masculine energy. Yeah, and harmonious union. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yes, and that's what the divine feminine and masculine is. It's about mixing those anodes and cathodes, as I expressed, if you want to look at it from an electrical output, because we electrical magnetic beings, all right? And that's what the Star of David basically is, the personification of divine feminine and masculine unified. Pretty much that's what this whole realm is going to be predicated on. Divine feminine and divine masculine coming together. And that's when, listen, y'all may not be aware, but this whole shit is shifting. Look how fast this year went by. Y'all see how fast this year went by? Y'all see it? This shit, we already 6 months in. Pretty much coming close to 7 months in, right? It felt like only 2 months to me went by. We went, this year shot by like that, right? I want y'all to do something. When y'all go on your computer, look up 2005, year 2025, and then go all the way to 2030. If you go look at that right now, if you go 2025, you'll see the calendar is going to show like war. And then by the time it shows 2030, it's going to show like a utopia, almost like a future world in 2030. Between now and the 5 years, it's going to be, all of this stuff is going to happen within a 5-year window. Mark my words. Everything that's going to happen within a 5-year window. Now, Dr. York had a very interesting publication when he talked about the tribulation. And Dr. York was ahead of his time, because guess who he had on the front cover? A picture of Donald Trump, right? He had him as like the Antichrist on his drink, though. You feel me? You know, Dr. York did. Dr. York, this was way before Trump was even president. But it looked identical to Donald Trump on his book. That's my word. And when Dr. York used to do his channeling, his information used to come from Yanun, okay, which was an extraterrestrial from Elium. He got this information. This information was channeled, all right? So this is why Dr. York spoke about like 19 languages. You feel me? And and he showed Trump on his drink. I'm telling you, Trump is already, I'll say allegedly for this live, so they don't cut your boy, but Trump is currently president, allegedly, right? And it's real. And everything you see in as far as the elections is a big pony and horse show that they putting out for the people. That they obviously pulling the wool over our eyes. We know that they the two wings from the same bird. Behind closed doors, ultimately, we know that these parties are both in cahoots. We know that already. You feel me? So, what we're gonna witness in the next few upcoming years is the ascension process taking off. But it's gonna be, and a lot of the wars and stuff is even perpetuated from media. You feel me? Now, some of it's real, the bombings and stuff, but a lot of the stuff, some of these entities be behind closed doors shaking hands. You feel me? So it's a situation where they're pulling the wool over our eyes. And always remember, it's a 1% behind them, a shadow government behind this whole thing, controlling everything. And referred to as the platonic shifts as well. Yeah, talk about ultimately, I'm a build on whatever the power, a source, captivate me to speak on. But I have been speaking about everyone activating and tapping into their abilities. You feel me? And on what's going to happen, you know? But the way we do that and the way we ascend and tap into those abilities is simply by cleansing ourselves. Cleansing ourselves for all parasitic organisms and anything on contrary to nature, basically. And that's pretty much what it's predicated on. I'm not, you know, as far as religious rhetoric, like the 144,000 and things of that nature, I do I personally believe that the 144,000 are with us, within our chaotic, our angelic forces and chaotic forces, like the Goetia spoke on. I believe that those 144 are within us, because the Goetia speak on us having 72 chaotic forces and 72 angelic forces from our mother's side and our father's side that we actually have in us. We are primordial gods. We are all chosen, truthfully. It's just about us choosing ourselves. This is why I really don't follow the guise of religious rhetoric, because ultimately we are our gods and goddesses connected to the divine source. But it's only some of us that are chosen to really follow and actually bring us to that ascension process. You feel me? But I believe the 144 exists within us. If you want to ask me, you know what I mean. So that's pretty much what it boiled down to, you know. But also, like you see this amethyst behind me, for those that's interested in astral projection and tapping in, you know, amethyst for me is phenomenal for accessing the tapping into that crown chakra. You know what I mean? And that's what we doing. We tapping into, because how you attend those classes is through transcendental states of awareness. Again, a lot of the books is burnt. Like I said, they burnt the library at Alexandria. They burnt a lot of the libraries that we had access to. So you have to access the Akashic records to get a lot of this cosmic data. All right. So this is why accessing transcendental states of awareness is going to be what's more important. He said, hey, brother, can you talk about the ancestors and the significance of veneration of the ancestors? I mean, personally, when you venerate your ancestors, you could venerate your ancestors just by commemorating them personally, by just acknowledging them and having a picture of them. But commemorating the ancestors is so important because they have a direct connection to our blood. All right, so you see a lot of people that use deities. I spoke about this in a video yesterday. Deities versus ancestors, okay? Now, the deities are good. It's okay to utilize certain deities to get the energy if you resonate with them, but only if you know you have a connection with them, okay? Only if you know that you have a connection. Some people could connect with certain orishas or certain deities and actually awaken a malevolent spirit that's posing as that deity. You get me? This is why it's safer to connect with ancestors, because you know you have a genetic bloodline connection as opposed to trying to reach out to a deity. The danger in that is because, again, those malevolent forces waiting for somebody to fuck up, waiting for somebody to make a mistake and try to awaken a deity or connect with these entities. And then at one point they found the gateway through your essence. You feel me? So this is why what the brother said is very important, and venerating your ancestors, because veneration of your ancestors is you actually are giving them energy on the other side as well, because they also need energy. This is why sometimes people burn gold and stuff for their ancestors, because your ancestors, I mean, believe it or not, they do need energy on the other side. Some of them were low in frequency when they transition. Some of them may not be as high in frequency as you are currently. You feel me? So some of them need a little tutelage or a little energy on the way to get from one point to the next point. And this is why people do altars. And it's something as simple as an altar could be a nightstand with a picture of your grandmother on it, or your grandfather, or your father or mother, all right, with their favorite thing that they may have liked. You feel me? Something like, you know, let's say, for example, my father transitioned. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to the ancestors. My father liked wrestling and stuff like that a lot. He was into fitness and working out and stuff like that. So I commemorate him by putting them on my arm and work. You know, I put them on my arm as a joint. You feel me? And when I work out and train, that's ancestor veneration just consistently. You feel me? So it's just I get directly talks from above. Yeah, and that's facts. I get directly talks from above all day. Listen, we have a direct connection with our cosmic family. We have a direct connection with cosmic family. And this is why accessing transcendental states of awareness is so important, and opening that first eye is so important. This is more important than anything right now, because they affecting us. They do so many things to shut down our cosmic gateway, from blue light radiation to so many different things. Anytime you're in front of your tablet or a phone, it is emitting blue light radiation, guys. This is why it's important to also balance it and get in nature sometimes and let that photon energy hit that pineal gland. When you look at the sun and sun gaze like this and close your eyes, that you get more production of vitamin D and neuromelanin just by closing your eyes like this and looking at the sun. All right? And then again, every 8 minutes and 30 seconds, ironically, it's close to 9. We know which is the highest number. Every time we in sun, 8 minutes and 30 seconds, we get that sunlight. And then it's funny, but the number 11 look like a doorway, and 8 plus 3, if you look at the 8 minutes and 30 seconds, equates to 11, which pretty much equates to that doorway opening up in a sense, right? If you add the numbers up. So when you sun gazing, you get cosmic light. You get cosmic light and consistent upgrades Again, the downloads, you can call them downloads, but I call them uploads because we already have all this cosmic wisdom in our primordial mind. It's just us reminding ourselves who we are. I've recorded over 5,000 universal. Listen, let me tell you this. And this is facts. Y'all don't got to believe me or nothing, but listen. When I access this transcendental state of consciousness, right? And I seen us activate and fully tap into who we are as far as our powers, we was completely telepathic. Like, for example, you see how we talking, like you can type something and I can read it? It was like that. It was like reading it in your mind almost, though. That's the best way to explain it. We was basically reading each other's minds, and we was all in unison. I can literally feel what this sister or brother was thinking, or sister or brother was thinking. And we was automatically knowing exactly what to do. And it was a situation, we was really cleaning up this shit. And this is a fact. I seen this. They couldn't get near us. Literally, they was in awe when they seen us like flying and stuff like that. They was looking at us like, and I remember I was going there. He was fully dressed in army fatigue, and I literally was getting, as I got close to him, literally all this green slime and stuff started just falling off of him. He literally couldn't even get near me. We was emanating, like literally walking personifications of the sun. That's what we're gonna be. And people be like, when is, people who say when and like try to rush the process, focus on your ascension. Are you ready? Are you at that elevated state yet? What have you done to earn the powers? Do you just want them? Are you walking in your light? Are you tapping in? Are you fasting? What are you doing to reap the benefits of gaining this cosmic light? You see, some of the people, and you'll be surprised. I read certain comments of people that be like, when I'm going to do this. And these people are not even really tapped in. They don't ground. They're not really tapping in with nature, but they just want to reap the benefits of a cosmic ascension. It's not how it works. You have to do some work. You have to cleanse these parasites out of you. You have to get these metals out of you, because some people, once this cosmic, the real cosmic energy and the geomagnetic storm hit, some people not going to make it if they not cleansed, if they not getting these metals out of their body. It's going to be a 5-year duration, and time is already speeding up. So when you hear that 5 year, time is speeding up more. Every single day, time is speeding up more. Every single day, time is speeding up. Every single day, time is rapidly increasing. You feel me? So it's a situation where as the days propel, it's going to just feel like it's a blur. It's going to feel like it's a blur pretty soon. And we're going to be like right there, like that. So the main thing is just focus on improving your frequency, raising your frequency, being happy, listening to music to make you happy, being around people that make you happy. Focusing on things that make you happy is the best thing. Love is the most important. And I'm going to stress that. I always tell a story when I encounter extraterrestrial entities that basically told me that it's going to be a great war that's going to go between the good and evil, is how they explained it. Okay. And these beings told me that the most important thing is focusing on love. This is what they told me. I mean, and I take it at face value, because 2 days after that, they came to me in a dream and said, remember what we told you. So, and that resonated with me for real, family. That resonated with me, because these beings was ascended. In that same trip, I had an experience where I spoke to the y'all may think I'm nuts. I spoke to a golden type dragon. You know what I mean? A golden like dragon. And then the dragon, seeing this dragon and communicating with this dragon, made me start researching the concept of dragons, right? And this was a golden type, it was gold. And the dragon literally said it was God. Like, it said, I go by many names. It said Yahweh. It said Jehovah. It said some names that I don't even know, that I haven't even heard. This dragon said it. Then I started researching, and it's 21 different parts of the Bible mention God being some type of dragon. So then I heard a Bobby Hemmett lecture, right? Where Bobby Hemmett mentioned a dragon breaking from the primordial water. It was like a dragon that broke free or something like that from the primordial water, and it wanted to experience existence, and it manifested itself into some type of existence. But it broke free from the primordial waters of Noon to actually bring itself into to essence. And it was some type of dragon entity. Dragons are the most primordial beings, the most ancient beings in existence are the dragons. Okay, they're like the for real, seriously. Y'all don't gotta, and this is why the word dinosaur wasn't made until like the 1800s. The initial translation, this is why it says dragons all in the Bible, right? You feel me? Dragons really inhabited this realm, and they still do. This is, wait till that dragon unthaw. Wait till that big ass dragon unthaw. It's gonna be a wrap. It's because the Titans are awakening. And what happened when they froze the Titans, they had extraterrestrial technology to have the ability of freezing things and making it almost like a limestone, the same way they did Lot's wife. This was an Anunnaki technology, but they still aren't thawing. And it wasn't normal ice that they used on this dragon. It was like some extraterrestrial type stuff that kept them in suspended animation. I'm dead serious. But these beings are magical, so you really can't kill them. Some of these beings, you can't kill them. The real magical dragons, you can't do nothing but try to entrap them. You get me? Like, seriously. You can't really do nothing but entrap them or keep them in a fixed position. And this dragon was now waking up. And when it wake up, the magic on the realm is returning. This is another reason why they starting to see the Fae. Why you could look in certain trees, there's videos. This is a video a dude made. He was live. And he was literally looking at his tree, and it was like a little Fae, like an elf type entity walking around his tree. And he got his video on it the whole time. He's live, okay? So it's not no CGI or no shit like that for the speculators, okay? This was a real Fae. These entities actually exist, okay? All of these entities exist. Tinkerbell, they show us this shit for a reason, all right? It's predictive programming, but these things are actually real. You know what I mean? Yeah, they couldn't kill they froze them. They couldn't kill the dragons. The magical ones, because it's different levels of dragons, there's many dragons, okay? It's many different dragons. It's so many different types of dragons, but the real high, powerful ones, you can't kill them. You only can entrap them. Same thing like they angelic beings. They angelic beings, basically, right? And energy don't die, period. Really, you can't kill us either, to be honest. You can kill our avatars, but energy don't die. You only can trap it. And this is why the Sakara Empire, right? We talked about this. I made a video about this. The Sakara Empire has a soul entrapment device where they can actually, some of the politicians and stuff like that, in this device, they'll trap their essence in this device, and then they'll use their body to basically use some of these politicians and stuff. They've been for years. They actually reptilians. They hijack, where their avatars been hijacked, and they use their bodies as basically vessels or meat suits that they operate. This is a fact. So you could call me a conspiracy theorist or think I'm nuts, but it's real. Most of the government is actually ran by reptilian shapeshifters that have the ability of shapeshifting. Now, they use more than one. Some of the reptilians shapeshift. Only the high class ones get certain technology that they can use to shapeshift. Some of the other ones have to use blood to shapeshift. And if they're not consuming enough blood, then they'll shift it into their form or something like that. Or some of them, if they craving blood, like if you come around a reptilian or something, and you're on your period or something like that, you'll see them lose their form. Like they'll ship out their form real quick. You feel me? It's people starting to see them out in different parts, like lady in the airport, for example, different places. A lot of them, I explained. People think I'm nuts when I made the video and I explained that a lot of the homeless disguise themselves as homeless. A lot of the extraterrestrials disguise themselves as homeless or beggars, they hide themselves in hoods and clothes and stuff, and they kind of stay secluded in different areas. But there's a lot of ETs that are literally right amongst us consistently. A lot of them are in the NBA. A lot of them are different, and a lot of them are different sports and different doing these different sports, and they do it for show and stuff like that. This is facts. This is facts. A lot of extraterrestrials are right amongst us in sports arenas. Some of these entertainers, a lot of them are fallen angels, believe it or not. The entertainers and stuff like that. Some of those are some of the fallen that just took on bodies of entertainers, and then every once in a while they'll die or they'll clone themselves and they'll come back and they'll have the same avatar. This is why some of the entertainers, you could see them years ago, and look like in time traveling pictures, you would see a picture of an entertainer that looked just like a Jay-Z or something like that. I'm just using him as an example. You would see pictures for them from years and years ago, right? I'm telling you, man, these entities, like, for example, the Hidden Hand, they live for thousands of years. These are descendants of Enlil. And they could take the body of, they can live for about 1,000 years, right on, in a corporeal body. And a lot of them work for government. Some of them wear shades. They work for the secret society and stuff, where you won't see their eyes. They keep their eyes hidden and stuff like that. They even had some real tall, these beings was like 8 foot, 9 foot tall, walking with, and they had them as guards. And you could tell they was extraterrestrial. They was like, you could clearly tell they was extraterrestrial walking with them. You feel me? It's a lot of different beings that exist amongst us, family. A lot of different beings. As the frequency increases, we're going to see more and more of it. So it's important that you don't fear this shit. It's important that you don't have fear. For all of you that know these things exist, now you have to embrace that they exist. Because be prepared to see this shit, is what I'm trying to tell you. Be prepared to see this shit. It's gonna be evident. You may be walking literally in Walmart or walking out in public and see a reptilian or see an extraterrestrial entity right out in public, just showing itself. I'm dead ass serious, because we have more access to the light spectrum now. Entities they were able to hide are no longer able to hide themselves or camouflage their actual appearance. This is why they have a lot of blue. Some streets, I don't know if they got them in y'all. I'm in Florida, but on certain streets you see blue lights outside, a big ass blue light, almost like the ones they have at PetSmart or something like that, under with a reptilian cage. Blue, almost like a black light or black light, but they blue. Any of y'all can attest to this or seen them in y'all states, different blue lights. You feel me? And this is because they're trying to balance out the light photons that are coming and hitting the planet. Because we have more access to the light spectrum, especially since April 8th. And this is, listen, when we talk about simulators, people don't like that. I'm not saying that the sun is fake, y'all. The sun is real. What I'm saying is they use a simulator to block out some of the spectrum so we don't see and we don't have access to all of the light photons. And we can't see what we're supposed to see. So they can induce more of the simulation on us. So this is why, okay? You seen a blue light, Philip? Yeah, it's blue lights on certain streets that basically manipulate the light spectrum, because it's extraterrestrials and stuff, right? They live with us right on the surface. Now, I'm not talking about underground. I'm talking about it's extraterrestrials right on top of the damn surface with us. You feel me? Now, it's a lot more under the ground. I'm talking about advanced cities, guys, underground. I'm not talking about nothing. I'm talking about advanced subways and stuff that float off the ground. They have technology like the Tartarian technology and Atlantean technology right underground still. They have that technology still. We the only ones that are primitive as hell on its surface. Listen, we the only ones that's primitive as hell on its surface, being taken over and controlled by Draconians, the Sakar Empire. We the only ones that's being controlled and manipulated by these entities like this. All right? And this is primarily because we forgot who we are. But once we fully remember, we're going to know exactly where their quarters at. We're going to be going on there tearing their ass up. I've seen this all already. That's why I'm patient and I'm not tripping like y'all saying win, because I know it's going to happen. I'm not tripping like y'all. Is this going to ever take place? Yeah, it's going to take place. Yeah, and the Men in Black is real too. You said like in the Men in Black movie, yeah. And the Men in Black are real. These are tall whites that typically wear black to keep themselves protected from the sun. They wear shades. And they're coming. If you've seen something or seen something you weren't supposed to see, they'll come to your door and tell you to be quiet. You're not supposed to expose nothing. This is real talk. And the devices that they use to hide your memory is synonymous to the black light satellite in the moon that they use to wipe our mind as far as erasing us from our memories. Some of us, we starting to get our memories back now. This is why dreaming and stuff is. Why do you think when you dream and you come back, you can't remember? It's designed like that. This is technology that's done with the moon. Okay, this is why when you go to certain astral planes, there's entities even on the other side to try to send me back. Right? I'm telling you. Next time you astral project, some of y'all, I want y'all to try to fly to the moon and see what happens. See how difficult it is to get to the moon when you're in your astral body. This is only for the astral projectors or people who are proficient in the art of leaving their body or lucid dreaming. If you haven't done that yet, then it may sound crazy what I'm saying to you. But if you're proficient in the art of astral projection or lucid dreaming, you're going to understand that there's certain technology that they have protecting the moon, because the moon is utilized as a device to wipe our memory. Okay? This is facts. This is pure facts. This is why when you go to sleep and you come back. Now, this is different things you can do to train it. And crystals you can use because you have crystals in you already. But this is why utilization of crystals are good, because crystals activate your magnetites and dendrites. All right? Again, you have crystals in you. You have tons of crystals and intrinsic metals and golds and all of that in you. Okay? Literally. This is why your melanin is worth more than gold. Your melanin and stuff is like that. It's way more worth than gold. You feel me? Our bodies are more technologically advanced than anything in the cosmos. Once you fully learn how to astral project and fully tap into traversing the cosmos, this is why I advocate the Blue Lotus and stuff like that. This is why some of the people be like, well, Blue Lotus hasn't been that effective for me because they haven't had the real thing. There's also purple tie that looks just like Blue Lotus. It's called purple tie. All right. And there's blue lotus and there's purple tide. Purple tide doesn't have as much apomorphine as blue lotus. This is the difference between the blue lotus that I have available, that I get. And I'm telling you facts, okay? A lot of the blue lotus in America is not real blue lotus, all right? And this is primarily because this is the original Egypt, and they don't want people tapping into their real indigenous thoughts and remembering who they are. Since you are genetically connected to this land, once you start really tapping into those esoteric memories, you're going to remember ancient memories that they don't want you to have access to. This is why Bill Gates and these people go harder on America than any other place. They go harder on anywhere our people are, really. Africa, too. They go over there and usurp their minerals, and they usurp their land as well. But this is the place that's been most blindfolded. We are most in the dark over here than anywhere else, right? And it's primarily because a lot of us been disconnected from our true lineage and what we really truly are. It's important that y'all start really dabbling into astral projection and lucid dreaming. It's very, very important. Stop fearing. I talk to too many people that are conscious and aware that tell me they're scared of astral projection. I don't understand this shit. I do not understand. You're not gonna die if you astral project. It's impossible. Energy don't die. For those that scared means that they really don't believe what they think. Because if you scared, that means you really do believe in death. That means you really don't believe that you're a God and that you're eternal and that you're infinite. That means somewhere along the lines, you're still questioning whether you're a God or goddess. Somewhere in your mind, if you fear astral projection, if you fear separating, somewhere in your mind, you fear that the entities on the other side are more powerful than you, meaning that, are you a God really? Are you a goddess really? If you fear leaving this corporeal body, which is temporary, by the way, it's not infinite, then listen, once you start to really step outside this meat suit and traveling, then you will really come to be aware of how powerful you really are. You're a real celestial being. You feel me? What herbs do I need? David Chapman, Blue Lotus and Mugwort is phenomenal for astral projection and lucid dreaming. I have it available. Real indigenous Blue Lotus available on Holistic Remedies that's not affected by Kill Gates. Okay? All right? So, and it's essential that, and listen, also what's essential for astral projection is your state of mind. I'm glad I got y'all here today. You can't just take a herb and expect to astral project, okay? It's also about your mindset and your state of mind. Are you focused on this three-dimensional fixed position when you're supposed to be in the cosmos? Are you thinking about what you got to pay? Are you sitting there like this with your eyes closed thinking about woe is me, I'm being attacked? Are you sitting or are you just letting go and traversing the cosmos as a free kindred spirit? What are you doing? This is what's most important, your mindset. You know what I'm saying? Your mindset is what's most important. Visit Holistic Remedies, and all the prices are listed right there, family, in regards to how much the Blue Lotus is. But also decalcification of the pineal gland or the first eye, the cosmic gateway, is very important. You must decalcify your pineal gland. Stop using toothpaste with fluoride in it. That's one of the first things people do once they become conscious and aware. All right. They realize that fluoride is the same stuff that they use on dead bodies. They realize that fluoride is the same stuff that Hitler used in Nazi Germany. Okay. It's the same. Fluoride is rat poison. Did you know fluoride is rat poison, guys? Did you know that anytime you brush your teeth with fluoride, you're using rat poison? Huh? Most people don't know that. All right. So it's important that you get rid of any fluoride and stuff like that. You feel me? No fluoride, nothing period with fluoride in it. All right. And also deodorant with aluminum in it is another thing. And you know what's crazy? They make these things so difficult. You can use a lemon. You can literally cut a lemon in half and wipe it under your arms, and it eliminates the acid that your body would produce to actually create an odor. Utilize a lemon under your armpit every day is another holistic remedy that you can use. Okay. This is why I advocate holistic remedies. This is about what holistic tools can we utilize on our path to ascension to elevate, because most people aren't aware that we're consistently attacked. Coconut. People, the sun gonna be hot as hell. Coconut oil. Nobody, especially if you're not in ether, nobody, period, should be using suntan lotion though. Sunscreen is basically cancer. You're putting cancer in your skin. If you out there using sunscreen lotion to try to prevent yourself from getting cancer, basically you're putting the cancer in your own body. And then walking out in the sun for the sun to activate the cancer. That's what you're doing. Coconut oil is an essential product that you can utilize to protect yourself naturally from the sun. So I also had that available on Holistic Remedies, coconut oil. And it's, yes, you can use it on your face. For people that ask, can you use it on your face? Yes. Okay. Coconut oil can be applied to the face. Also, black seed oil. Okay. Can be also, yes, you use black seed. See, I got you. See how that synchronicity work? You put black seed oil right when I said it. It's that synchronicity. That's the telepathic connection right there. Pretty soon we're going to all be telepathic. I was talking about language. English language is the weakest language. It's the weakest language in the universe, right? This is why we speak it. They wanted to make sure that we spoke the language with the less powerful power to it. When I was on my magic mushroom trip recently, right? I expressed that I encountered a chief. Her name was Chief Littlehawk, all right? And I entered a classroom when I spoke to this woman, right? And she was talking to me how I'm talking to y'all. And she was like, let me put you up on game about the cities in the sky. And she would start talking about how the Watchers, when the Watchers was here, that it's entities, basically cities or networks that are facilitated above this atmospheric region. And she was talking about how if you go up closer to the how it get colder, like how it's ice on the top of a mountain peak, for example, right? And she was talking about how certain structures are up there they use electromagnetic repulsion to make cities float and stuff like that. This may sound crazy. It may sound crazy to some because this is advanced, but there's entities that actually watch us from up there. They have the ability of travel. Now listen, people that ask how do they get through the firmament? You got to go 33,000 times the speed of sound to break the firmament. Okay. Once you do that, you have the ability of vibrating, just like how they show Flash. You ever seen how they show Flash move so fast he can vibrate through certain material? This is the same premise of these extraterrestrial ships. They go so fast, they have the ability of moving fast enough to now bypass the firmament. These beings created the firmament, guys. Wake up. They also have stargates and portals that they can open up, wormholes and things of that nature. We open up wormholes when we astral project. We do. When you dream, you open a wormhole, you just never see it. You just never see the wormhole. By the time you dream, you're just already in the dream. But if you catch yourself going into the dream, I catch myself. Your essence literally get zipped through a portal and pulled through, and then you get pulled to that particular reality. This is why I tell you we time travelers and chrononauts. Chronos mean time for those that don't know. Chrono mean time. Chrononaut is a time traveler. All right. A lot of the people in the Masonic lodges are chrononauts. The people that do the Simpsons are chrononauts. They could time travel and stuff like that. They can go to alternate timelines and realities and see different things and tap into different things and had the ability of accessing certain transcendental states of awareness. We all could time travel. Once we fully lock in and hone into our abilities, we can actually visit these other realms via time travel. You feel me? So it's a situation where stop being scared of astral projection. Guys, stop being scared of astral projection. For real. It's very important to stop fearing it. Indoctrination makes you fear these things because they know that you have connection to the Akashic records. They know that. They know that you can access other realms. And they also scare you. I'm going to tell you something else that y'all need to know. They use certain gatekeepers, like Hollywood. You know how they show you certain scary things that look scary? Creatures in movies and stuff that look scary? What if I told you some of those scary looking creatures were actually gatekeepers to certain Akashic records or books and stuff that have access to information? So they triggered you to, as soon as you see something scary, you get scared and think it's evil. When some of these beings are just extraterrestrial entities that are gatekeepers for certain records. What if I told you that? Right? Some of these beings are part dragon and stuff like that. They are from higher celestial realms and things of that nature that just have a different face than us, look a little different than us. Because you can see also different beings depicted in Egyptian mythology with the face of a cat or dog or dog. These are extraterrestrial beings really that they're showing us. They are gatekeepers for certain records. So you have to learn not to fear things that look different than you. That's the first thing. When I'm in the astral realm, do you realize I see extraterrestrial beings and all kind of stuff? I see entities that look peculiar, and guess what? They're benevolent. It's not scary. Once in a while, you will see something menacing that try to scare you because it realized that you elevating, but you have to overpower it. Have I been scared sometimes? Yeah. I have to grow in this journey. It's been times I've been scared in the astral realm and popped back in my body and then got mad. Like, damn, why I get scared? And it was like, damn, fear is fuck everything and run or face everything and rise. It's either one or two things or false evidence appearing real, right? So it's a situation where some of the things you fear could just be false evidence appearing real. It's not nothing did you even need to fear. You know what I mean? Bobby said the more stronger or higher up things or beings are, the uglier they look in this realm. Yeah, that's a fact. To us, they may look ugly from our sense of perception. So this is why certain things may look ugly and you be like, oh, it was a demon. You trained to think that, y'all. Y'all trained and indoctrinated to think that. This is why some of y'all scared to take a shroom trip too. Some of y'all scared as hell of psychedelics and will never do them. That's another thing. You scaring yourself out of ascension. You scaring yourself out of ascension. This is facts. For all of you guys that do see these things without them, right? Imagine if you did, what the world will open up to, what you would. For those that maybe never tried to shroom or something like that. You feel me? So it's a situation where you have to dive into these things and be willing to tap into higher dimensional realms of existence. You feel me? And a lot of these things gonna look scary to you. A lot of these things gonna look scary to you when you dive in those realms. I've seen things that look scary. Yeah, how they see angels, for example. What are the best shrooms? It's hard to say the best shrooms. I like the apes, penis envy, golden teachers are good. I mean, any of them that really allow to have psilocybin effects are good. But I'm gonna tell y'all something though. You gotta go for the ego depth. Don't go for to see a little colors and fun. No, you gotta jump right in the deep end. You can't be scared. I'm talking about 5 grams or better. All right? I'm not talking about no little kiddie dose. If you're going to go and jump in the deep end, jump fully in the deep end to where you fully don't have the ability to be scared and run. You know what? I can't really talk. I can talk about my ability, once I get into that, then I'm jumping into dangerous water once I talk about providing and all of that. You know what I mean? But I don't got them. I don't have the psilocybin, guys. You feel me? You have to try to find your best way to ascertain that information on your own. If you catch me, if you dig me, they are depending on your state. I know in Colorado they are legal. To be honest with you guys, I seen certain ads on Facebook. I don't know if it's true that you can purchase them with Bitcoin. I don't know how real it is, but I seen certain joints on Facebook. I'm like, damn, is this real? Where they are literally advertising psilocybin mushrooms on this app. I'm talking about literally on Facebook. Were you scrolling and I see some, I'm like, wow. And then they bold as hell. I'm serious. So if you happen to try one of those apps and it's real, I highly recommend jumping in. But you have to eliminate all fear. Some of the things I do to prepare myself, right? For astral projection or lucid dreaming when I'm diving into these experiences is I cleanse my room. I say my affirmations out loud. I'll light an incense. I'll speak my affirmations out loud and say everything out loud. Like, you know what I mean? I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example right here, actually. Bear with me, pardon me. Alright, so I typically use incense, right? Y'all probably hear the meditation music in the back. Fire is the personification of plasma energy. Magic is associated with the 4 elements, okay? Magic is associated with the 4 elements. So here's a good manifestation tool. You just get your fire and when the smoke dissipates. So I'll say something like, I'll speak my affirmations, right? And when I speak my affirmations before I light my incense, I'll speak my affirmations out loud to cleanse my air. Cleanse the air of all malevolent entities. Grant me divine wisdom and insight from my higher self. Let this fire be the personification of my light or my inner self. And then as the smoke dissipates in the air, let that put primordial knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the ethers. You know, you say things like that. You speak your affirmations out loud and then, light your incense. If all of us was to do a powerful meditation, for example, with our incense and we was to light our incense and say, let this fire represent the burning of this system or the destruction of this malevolent system. Let the fire burn and represent the personification of my primordial spirit. You know what I mean? And things like that. I have power to them, but number come in powers too. So eventually we're going to start doing some mass meditations where we get together and we meditate on accessing or our heightened powers or bringing more love to the realm and things of that nature. And this is important. You know what I mean? The pharaoh in the back, that's the personification of deity veneration. You feel me? Ancestors at the same time, because they are ancestors in our bloodline, And that right there, you see right there is a sword I got right there. the amethyst right there. But it's a situation where we got to fully tap in. We got to fully tap into our higher self and our higher mind. And we also got to make sure y'all training. Make sure y'all exercising. You feel me? Make sure you exercising. Get down, do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks, train your core. Make sure you stretching. Make sure you keeping yourself youthful, because I'm dead ass serious when I tell you it's gonna be a situation where we may have to protect ourselves from these malevolent forces. Okay, and this is not fear mongering or nothing, but it's facts. You may have to protect your family. You may have to be able to get away from something or defend yourself. And as the frequency of the planet rise, more individuals get more mentally disgruntled. God body, that's right, holistic. Every mind, body, and spirit. Everything holistically working in tandem, okay? And this is important. Strength training, exercising, all of that is essential, all right? And I can't stress that enough, the importance of exercise. Every day, damn near work out. Yeah, train, push-ups. And when I'm training, I picture the activation. I seen it. And I promise you guys will see it too. Another thing that blew my mind way back is when I seen the black extraterrestrials on the ships. I seen black extraterrestrials, guys look just like us on the ships. I'm dead serious. I kid you not. They was deep as hell on the ships, and they was taking care of shit. They warring the cosmos right now. It's a war going on in the cosmos as we speak. This shit going on in the cosmos as we speak. All right, self. Alkaline water. I told you. Lemon water. Every 12 hours that you sit your lemons or key limes in water, it alkalines the water. Okay? For those that want alkaline water and it's expensive, get you some key limes, get you some lemons, cut them up, put them in your water, let them sit for a duration of 12 hours, and that citric acid will naturally convert to an alkaline liquid. Okay? That's important. And a high alkaline environment, no virus or parasitic organism can survive. Yeah, parasitic organism can. This is why parasites cleanse is important. Get your parasite cleanse. Cleanse yourself of the parasites. It's unfortunately not available in the UK. I had some of the UK family try to get the parasite cleanse, and they don't give a damn about the UK. Apparently, they don't allow me to ship it to the UK. I'm like, damn. So I had to get that brother like some sweet wormwood and put them together a different kind of package, because they unfortunately didn't have the parasite tincture available. The parasite tincture is good because it's everything you need all in one blend. You feel me? It's more expensive to get sweet wormwood, black walnut, and then cloves all separately. Those are the three primary components for eradicating yourself of parasites. Another good one is papaya seeds, okay? If you get yourself a papaya, the only thing with papaya seeds is they have arsenic in them, but you don't, small traces of arsenic in them in papaya seeds. Most don't know that. But papaya seeds does eradicate parasites in you. So if you eat a whole papaya and you take some of the seeds, blend them up in a blender, and then drink them down like probably once every month or something like that. I don't recommend doing it consistently, but the good thing about the other tincture that I'm promoting is it doesn't have any arsenic or not any side effects. Okay, the one thing you will have to do after a parasite cleanse is you're going to have to make sure that you recalibrate your trace minerals, because a lot of times when you go through a detox or parasite cleanse, sometimes you can deplete your minerals. Okay, your body needs 102 minerals to remain in homeostasis. Shilajit and sea moss are very good because they have a lot of different minerals in them that are essential. I like the shilajit a lot because it does, like I told you, it strengthens the melanin. It's rich in fulvic acid. And shilajit is not only good for, like, you can consume shilajit, you can also literally put shilajit in your hair and skin and wash it off, and it's also good for like exfoliate, for your collagen and stuff like that. Coca-Cola kills parasites, however, I don't recommend it. Coca-Cola kills more than parasites. It's going to kill a lot of other shit in you too. But that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, it's about ascension, man. Listen to a lot of frequencies as well. Meditation music and frequencies when you go to bed. We are frequency, so it's important that you tune your frequency. Oftentimes, our frequency is tuned for us by the music and stuff we listen to. We turn the radio on a consistent basis, okay? By the radio and stuff like that. They keep us in a certain frequency. You feel me? So it's a situation where we want to make sure we monitor our frequency. So when you go to bed at night, listen to binaural beats, different frequencies, and these allow you to raise your serotonin levels and reduce your cortisol levels. A lot of you guys, you go to bed with stress on your mind, and then you wonder why you can't manifest. It's because you're entrenched in negative thoughts before you go to bed, which in turn is creating more of that reality. When you sleep, when you go to bed at night, you access the fourth dimension, which is the dielectric field. So when you're laying down there and you're sitting there, I'm going to tell you, this is facts. When you're laying down at night, that's when you manifest the most. So what you think about before bed is the most important, probably out of more than anything out of your day. It's right before bedtime, because when you go right before bed, it's right when you're in between that third and fourth dimension. And that's the realm of creation. All right. So when you're in that realm of creation, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about your problems? Are you think about what you want as opposed to what you don't want? That's the trick. Think about what you don't want. Even if you got to trick yourself, you almost got to be a little crazy in this shit. You almost got to be a little bit psychotic, a little bit. And I say that because this world made us so docile and so sheep-like that in order to break it, you kind of got to trick yourself a little bit. So you got to tell yourself, even if things don't seem good, that things are great and that you're a god and goddess. Or sometimes you tell yourself that I'm just in the game. This is just a simulation. When things aren't going good, this is just a game that will bypass. I set it on hard. I can endure through this. And then you kind of just persevere through that and build your resilience through that moment. You feel me? No matter what it is, whether you lost somebody, whether times are hard financially, no matter what you go through, you trick yourself by telling you, all right, this is a simulation, this is a game. Even if you hurt, you tell yourself that because all time will eventually, you will pass by it. You feel me? But this is, and it's important to really focus on elevation of frequency. And this is the thing. When I talk about raising your frequency, people equate that to intelligence. A high frequency doesn't mean intelligence. A high frequency doesn't mean you're not indoctrinated by a religion. A high frequency means a high frequency. That means being elated, being happy, being in the spirit of love, being in an elevated frequency, not in the spirit of anger, okay? Because when we talk about Mayat now, let's talk about Mayat for a minute. We talk about heart being light as a feather. A lot of my black people, we got a lot of anger in us from epigenetic trauma and epigenetic memory, right? We got a lot of anger in us, right? So now when we talk about being alchemists and alchemical scientists, we talk about transmutation. We talk about how can we transmute that energy to make that energy work for us. And that's what basically these entities told me when they told me everything is about love. They made me aware of the spell we was put under. They made me aware that our electromagnetic frequency is what anchored this matrix. So it was purposely designed for us to... Y'all know about the black nobility, right? What if I told you the 1% behind all this shit is neuromelanated people that actually really running shit? They really sold all our ancient Kemetic science away and then created an enemy by use of a scientist, via Yakub, who basically designed, said, well, okay, we're going to have you create this. Because, all right, so let me ask you this. For anybody who's tapped in and talking about esoteric science and talking about our people, prior to 6,000 years, we still was beefing with each other, right? Now, prior to 6,000, let's go 100,000 years, we still was beefing. Who was we beefing? What other forces was here? There's a black nobility. There's a black draconians, all right? I'm going to get into some stuff that y'all might not be aware of. This is what we talk about when we talk about the black nobility and why the Vatican commemorate the black man so much and why they kiss our feet. They know the truth. There's black draconians that look like us that aren't us, that look like us, though. Typically, they had a widow's peak. And now I'm not saying all people with a widow's peak is bad, okay? So don't start killing me with that, because I had people say that. But yes, they lineage typically have the widow's peak, all right? They are generally, what you see Vampire in Brooklyn, typically they have that image, all right? Dr. York talk about these beings, Tarnush, Halal, all right? These are your black draconians, okay? These beings basically sold our ancient science out. They sold our ancient Kemetic cosmic science out. These are the real 1% that actually own the planet. The white face, or we say YT for the internet, or whatever the case may be nowadays. They saying that, but this face was just put there as a basically, okay, this is your enemy, right? But really, it's a black nobility behind that. So what the message is in this point is really realizing that yes, and this is not the yes, they fucked up. Anybody that's harboring negative energy towards the indigenous people going to be eradicated. I got to say that first. I seen it in my vision. As I expressed, I was floating right to the dude and he just is coughing up green shit. So if you're not in resonance with love on the planet, this, whether you're melanated or not, you won't have the ability of transcending past to the fifth world or the 5D, because it's all predicated in your heart being light as a feather. If you have anger or malice in your heart, what's that going? It's going to weigh your heart down. You ain't going to be able to, you can't be light as a feather and have anger and hatred at the same time. Yes, you have the ability of, karmic debt will be paid no matter what. To anybody who took advantage of our ancestors, anybody who hurt our lineage, karmic debt is definitely going to be paid. But your objective as a melanated being, a normal melanated being trying to ascend, is to transmute energy and to make sure you convert that hatred some kind of way to make it work in your favor, if that makes sense. That, am I saying sing kumbaya? But what I'm saying is don't navigate this realm with pure malice and hatred. You have to find a way to actually switch that energy and make it work in your betterment. Yeah, the heart space. It's about the heart frequency. And this is the hardest thing for our people to get over is when I talk about unification and all that, they be like, oh, this man trying to be link up with the YT, trying to be Uncle Tom. You get that type of shit. But ultimately, the malevolent forces created this enemy for us to divert from our true primordial mindset and our true divinity. That's a fact. If you have it, feel it. I agree. Yeah, you have to transmute that energy. You could be mad. I'm mad too. Listen, I'm mad about a lot of shit. And again, as the energy and the frequency turn up, it's going to be a situation where beings that don't resonate with the indigenous, that have a gripe, will be wiped out. Because we go. I promise you guys, when I tell you we're going to see aura, it's going to be color spectrums that we're going to see by. We ain't gonna see the same colors y'all think we see. Y'all see now, and it's y'all. We fell, y'all. We not the same. We fell from grace. We used to see completely different on different light spectrums. Different extraterrestrials still can. This is why certain people get downloads and others don't. Or certain people get transcendental information that others don't. Certain people may get angelic visitations and others don't. Because everybody not chosen for the shit. No matter how much knowledge you got, you could be the most enlightened brother in the planet. If you still aren't in certain resonance, you still have more to transmute. You feel me? You could be able to build a pyramid from scratch. You could know all the cosmic knowledge of the cosmos. If you still have mad hatred anchored to you, then you don't realize that it was then you unfortunately not going to have the ability of activating your crystalline body structure. Because in order for the 666 body to convert to a crystalline body structure, we have to receive certain cosmic wavelengths in order for that to happen and transmute that energy properly. And we have to be in a certain resonance. This not coming from me. This coming from cosmic beings. The old me wanted to stay mad. I wanted to be mad as hell. I wanted to destroy everybody that had something to do, say bad with the indigenous people.